it was really cool. I mean, Channel Islands was so amazing to give us the opportunity to really kind of play around in the space and um, design a board that is exactly what we want to ride. And basically, I love old things and going slow. And, like I found a old longboard at the dump and it's got this huge D-fin on it. And I've never gone slower in my life, but it taught me how to ride the curl and unlock different areas of speed in the wave face. I love old Volkswagen vans and, not getting up to 65 miles an hour. So like, I just love old things, basically is what I'm saying. And so I was kind of interested in old skateboard designs, like Tony Alva and Jay Adams, they used to ride from, and the Z-Boys and all that. That outline is so beautiful. And when I close my eyes and look at a shortboard and in my head, I'm like, God, that outline is exactly what I want to ride. Like if you're looking at flying across a wave face, like, man, that looks sick. And the way that those guys are riding it all like tweaked and flowy and skatey, like that's how I want to surf, moving from weight on the back foot to front foot, that transition and flowing and carving. So that was really the impetus. And there was a book on old skateboards and I took a photo of a board on my iPhone. And I was like, man, this thing looks sick. And so I actually took it to Kinko's and blew it up to 5'8" to scale how big I wanted it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I brought it home, put it on my living room floor and cut out the board. And I rolled it up, put a rubber band on it. And I walked into CI and I was like, Britt, man, I got it. I've been thinking about something. I might be crazy, but I really want to explore this path. Like, I think this could be a rad board model. It looks insane. So we put it on a foam blank and we just carved it out. And then we just started playing on it from there and really modifying it. And I wanted to work with Pat and Tanner on it too, because I feel like when you're building a board for a commercial brand like Channel Islands, it's really fun for me to get more people excited about the board and more people like finding joy in the board and taking it out and making it applicable to a lot of different styles and wave sizes and textures. So like, I bet you if Patrick and Tanner and myself came together and took all our collaborative experiences and point of views, maybe it can apply for a wide sweet spot for people, whether you want to surf more progressive or more down the line or whatever. So that was kind of the goal. And it basically turned into what it is now. And Britt, and bless those guys, because it took us a long time to get to where it is. So yeah, I appreciate their patience.
Describe that first skateboard.
I'm sure it was like a wide point forward. I mean, it looks so similar to what it is now.
Okay.
Except for tail, right?
Okay.
It had the big wide tail block. So it kind of resembled a bit more of like a mini Simmons kind of thing. And so, which, essentially if you're looking at a skateboard, like that's kind of the kicktail or whatever. So like pop. And, we just were feeling like that just had too much width in the tail area there to really get those tight turns in the pocket. Of course, you're flying through the flats and skating all around. But with our approach and wanting to actually access high performance with this board, then we kinked in that thing and that made all the difference. And that's really the same bump that's on like the MTFs. Remember those ones that Reynolds really popularized? I think it was Rob Machado's original one.
Oh, okay.
And then similar to the Tommy Twin that he has too, it's a similar wing. We were playing around with straight twins, but we really felt like that stabilizer gave it that extra sense of drive to really kind of accelerate it. And in association with the board, we're also releasing a set of fins. And we got a chance to design that fin. And as I was building it out, we were playing around with the original AMT templates. I'm not sure how experienced you are with playing around with different fins, but it was really cool because the AMTs are on a specific angle. They're splayed out to a nice degree. And we were playing around with all these different kind of variations of the angle with the fin development. And I was like, man, when I stood on this one, I was like, damn, this thing's got so much lift. I was like, what's cooking in this thing? And it turns out the little bit more angle on the splay just gave it so much life and lift and ability to go from toe edge to heel edge real tight in transition. We added a little more rake to it and give it a little more radius and drive. And yeah, I don't know.
So you explained what that initial design looked like, skateboard design. What does the final G Skate model look like? You kind of described outline right now.
Yeah.
But what about everything else? What about rocker?
Yeah, pretty low rocker profile.
Okay.
Single to double to a little bit of V off the tail in terms of concave. I would say a pretty straight outline, and then it kinks in. The real kink for maneuverability is right after the 2 side fins. And so then it pulls into a bit of a narrower tail.
Okay.
But usually, like we were just saying today, like when you're standing on it, you're standing just at the end of that wide point, or not the wide point, but like the end of the wide before it kind of kinks back in.
Got it.
So you get that drive.
Would your back foot be above the fins then? Where are the fins?
Right over the fins.
Right over the fins.
Right over the front fins. That's where I like to stand. That's where I like to get a lot of juice.
Yeah.
And if you want to sit back and stomp it, you can kind of.
Right. I have not held one yet. I was supposed to grab mine last week and I didn't get a chance, but it looks like, so the wide point, the front has a lot of volume in it. It almost looks like a
foam.
fish.
Yeah.
Just from looking at it. And then the back obviously gets super narrow and high performance, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it an accurate assessment?
Yeah. I mean, it's designed to have a lot of foam in there.
Yeah.
And also to fit in tight pockets, So yeah, it's kind of an accurate. I think the wide point's maybe an inch above center. And yeah, it's definitely got a lot of foam under the chest, so you're not going to sink that thing.
Right.
And we really wanted to emphasize that get up and go
kind
of speed, especially if you're surfing in a place like Huntington or, Trussels or something like that. Like that feeling of like my first pump, wow, accelerate.
Yeah.
Speed, joy, happiness, smiling. People are hooting for you.
Yeah.
You're not like slamming, trying to squish a cockroach and beat it to death,
So ideal surf for listener who's going to add that to their quiver.
I would say like knee to just over head high.
Okay.
I mean, in the video, we're surfing it in like Macking, Hawaii.
Yeah.
But that was just like exciting to see how it handled max speed and to know that it can control it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you want to make sure things are well vetted and it was cool. Mikey Febs got to surf on it and seeing everyone's different applications of their style and approach. Imai was surfing great on it, Reef Hazelwood. And really what's so interesting about that video was that those are our boards actually. Like we just were like, we only had a couple boards. And so we were just giving them out to people to shoot on. And so every board that you see in that film is the exact same dimensions. It's just applied through different filters.
Amazing.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How tall are you and how tall is the G skate that you ride?
I'm 5'11", I think, and I ride a 5'6".
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like I was talking with Patrick today, like he rides his shortboard like 5'11", and same for me, like 5'11" shortboard, and then like, like a rocket wide or something like that, or a happy every day, I would ride a 5'8". And then this would be just under that, like 5'6", and then maybe a Bobby Quad, which is another board that they make, probably 5'4", 5'2".
Okay. So maybe
like
the equivalent to what you would ride a fish or taller.
I don't know. It depends on what kind of fish you like to
Okay.
ride. What do you like to ride?
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.